Hey Aubrey, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you, Lindsay?
Good, feeling good, feeling good.
Nice. What do you
Yeah.
have going on later today?
Wow, Aubrey, I am crazy busy today. So much to do.
You're telling me I have to take one child to lacrosse, another one to soccer. I need to figure out a
Oh.
carpool. I can't be two places at once.
Wow, that makes me stressed out just thinking about it.
Right.
Honestly, that's insane. Okay, good luck, Aubrey.
Thank you. Thank you. I need it.
Oh, well, all right. I'm excited to get into the topic for today. But first, guys, hit the follow button right here in All Ears English. We do publish 5 episodes a week. So if you want to make English learning part of your habit, which is how people get better, go ahead and hit the follow button. Right, Aubrey?
Absolutely. Right. Then our episodes will just drop right into your queue and you won't miss any of them.
You got it. Now, today's episode is inspired from a YouTube viewer. And thank you for watching us over in YouTube. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So this was Takin Tuiritu 3159. And the question was left on a recent episode that you and Michelle recorded. All Ears English, love language learning. Tell me about it. And so
Hmm.
then this listener said, when saying tell me about it does the intonation depend on situations where I am showing curiosity or sympathy to the story which someone is telling me? Thank you so much for today's episode. So, this was definitely covered in that episode a little bit, but intonation is really key there to know
Yeah.
which meaning you mean.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, 100%. So, and there's a lot of other ways to say, tell me about it, right?
Exactly.
Um,
That's what we want to dive into today. As I was listening to that conversation, I'm like, oh, we could do a part two with some of the other fun ways that we say that. So definitely go back. Don't miss that first episode for more details about, tell me about it, the different intonation, how we use it. And today we're going to dive into these other phrases that convey a similar meaning.
yeah. And first of all, for any listeners that didn't listen to that episode, let's just define, what does that mean when we say, tell me about it, Aubrey?
Yeah, we are responding with affirmation. We're really agreeing, right? Someone says something and you say, tell me about it. Usually means like, I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah. And it's funny because sometimes, like with the busy conversation, you could be much busier than I am, but I feel I'm busy. You feel you're busy. So we kind of
Totally.
empathize with each other, even if we're
Yeah,
not as busy as each other. It doesn't matter. We're just
exactly.
empathizing, right?
But we do use it a very different way when, like this listener said, if we want to show curiosity, we could just be
Mhm.
like, tell me about it. And it just means like, I want to know more about that. So depending on your intonation, has a very different meaning.
Oh my gosh. So we're coming up with alternatives today for which meaning, Aubrey? Which meaning?
For the first one, tell me
Hmm.
about it, meaning like I really agree, emphasizing how much you agree with someone or how much you have something in common. Like we
Yeah.
were both saying, we are both really busy. This is such a fun connection skill when you have something in common to use one of these fun phrases.
Yeah. And this is, yeah, exactly as you said, Aubrey. It's a huge connection skill. And on All Ears
Yeah.
English, we're all about connection. Connection, not perfection. Yes, it's great to learn grammar, it's great to learn vocabulary, but what does it actually mean for your level of connection in the world, your friendships, your professional relationships? That's what we're going to show you here. Okay.
Absolutely. And it makes sense that we have so many options because this is such a great connection skill, but you
Mhm.
want to be able to use all of these. You don't want to just have to say, tell me about it or even like I agree. So there are
Yeah.
a lot of fun ways to say this so that you can switch it up.
Yeah, and I do find that I'm saying this a lot. What about you, Aubrey? Is this does this come up for you often? I would guess yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, right? Because you want to highlight that when you have something in common. It would be such a lost opportunity to not
Mhm.
point it out, right? You want to point out when there are similarities, when
Yes.
this bonds people to find out you have things in common.
Support the speaker. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. All right, so then we have how many do we have today? 2 or 3
three.
options? 3
Yeah.
great options. Okay. What would be the
So the
first
first
one?
one we used at the top of the episode, you're telling me,
Yeah.
emphasizes how much you agree or how much you have something in common. Let's do a
Yeah.
little mini role play to see it again.
Okay.
Why do I even bother buying lottery tickets?
Ah, you're telling me I've never even won a single dollar.
Perfect, right? This is such a great if someone is just kind of venting that they're wasting a lot of money on something,
Yeah.
something's not going well. This is a very fun, playful way to say, I
Yeah.
agree.
Exactly. It's straightforward. It's clear what you're saying. It's kind of modern and native and natural. Yeah.
Exactly. And we are doing mini role plays here because this usually is a response to someone, right?
Right.
It's difficult to give an example sentence how you would use this because we use it to respond to what someone
Yes.
else has said.
100%. And that's another thing we could say to
Yeah,
agree 100%.
Totally, right?
That's what I say
100%.
most. That's a bonus for today. But let's move on to number two, Aubrey.
All right, 2 is you said it. So, very similar meaning. You're just agreeing with what someone said.
Hmm.
And, because the word said is in there, this is a little more specific
Yeah.
to you're going to say it right after someone says something that you either really agree with or you really share something in common.
Right. So, for example, this dessert is delicious.
You said it. I can't believe we didn't know about this place.
Yeah. And so you're just saying, hey, I totally agree with you. I'm glad you said that because I'm saying the same thing. Right.
Exactly, right? Just a fun way to say you agree. It gives you just an option to switch it up. I don't use this one as often. I think it's a little more rare or
Yeah.
a
I think
little
it is too.
more common for maybe a generation older than ours. I hear it a
Yes.
little bit less these days. What do you think, Lindsay?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I almost said 100% again. Geez. Why don't we swap in 100% instead of you said it? Yeah. No, I think you're right. I rarely, I mean, I know about it. I know of it, but I don't really use it. And I don't know that I hear it. It might be from a previous generation.
Maybe, yeah. I
Yeah.
think we
Yeah.
have swapped in 100%. Instead of saying you said it, we say 100%.
Yeah. We're discovering this episode in real time here,
Yeah,
Aubrey. This is good.
totally.
All right. But the next one, 100%, we do say it. I couldn't agree with you more. Right.
Yes, I absolutely say this. I hear it. It's such a great chunk for
Yeah.
just letting someone know that you really agree.
Yeah. So, for example, Duke's is the best bar in town.
I couldn't agree with you more. I love that place.
Yeah. And that's just even more emphatic in a way. I don't know. It just really makes it clear that you really agree. I couldn't agree with you
Exactly.
more. It could
Yeah.
also be useful in a professional context, maybe more than the others.
Yeah, that's true. This would definitely work at work, right? Someone has a great idea in a brainstorming session. This is perfect. I couldn't agree with you more. That's a great idea. And
And
then
if yeah,
we'll
go ahead.
also, for more emphasis, split apart the contraction and we'll say, I could not agree with you more. That's just to
Mhm.
emphasize even more how much you agree.
Even more. And it's fun to be able to do that. Just split that out, put the emphasis on not. It just
Hmm.
makes it a little more interesting, more emphatic, putting some life and personality into what you're saying.
Absolutely. I agree.
Okay, Aubrey, we are back for a role play here. We do have a full role play. So here we are at a high school reunion. Oh, fun. Have you been to a high school reunion before?
No, I actually have never gone to any of mine. Have you?
I think I went to my 5-year high school reunion, but it was just, a year out of college. Nothing had changed for people other than going to college. So I've never
Yeah.
been to a later one,
I
let's
just
say.
wasn't in my hometown or I would have
Yeah.
gone. I had already
Yeah.
moved away. I wasn't going to go back for it, but I'm kind of
Mhm.
sad I missed out. It could have been fun.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they're still having them, Aubrey. You could
Probably.
still
I'll
go.
have to go to
So
the next one.
I
All
think
right,
the
I'll
later
start us
ones
out.
would be the more interesting ones,
That's
right?
true,
Yeah.
right? Now that we've all changed, I probably wouldn't recognize anyone. I
I
actually
know.
had a mini high school reunion this last summer in Idaho. I was playing pickleball, and there were
Mhm.
4 different people from my high school, but they
Whoa.
all came up to me. They're like, "Aubrey." I didn't recognize any of them. I couldn't remember names. They looked
And they all
so
knew
different. It
you.
was crazy. Yeah, but
They
they
all knew
recognized
you.
me, so I guess that's a
That's so
compliment.
funny. That's great. That's great.
Okay, I'll start us out.
Okay.
It's high time I came to one of these. I missed the first 2.
This was the one to come to if you had to choose one. This hotel is amazing.
You're telling me this ballroom is so opulent. I kind of would prefer somewhere more chill, though.
I know what you mean. It's kind of hard to just chat at such a formal event.
I couldn't agree with you more. We should see if anyone wants to go to a bar nearby after.
I don't really know anyone well enough to ask. I'm really bad at staying in touch.
Me too. It's crazy how much we've all changed.
You said it. I hardly recognize anyone.
I said I
What a
could
weird
totally
feeling.
feel like you would say 100% there instead of
I
you
would.
said it
I might
100%.
overuse that a
I
little
don't
bit.
recognize anyone.
But yeah, no, it's true. It's true. So you said this hotel is amazing. So you're really, or I did. I'm really impressed with the location, and you said you're telling me. So you're really agreeing there, right?
Yes, right. Just a fun way to say absolutely or I really agree. You're telling me.
Yeah, and good bonus here. This ballroom is so opulent. What a great high level word for IELTS, for example, or just work,
Yes.
maybe.
Absolutely, right? It's a little less common. It means extremely fancy.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, really fun word if you can fit it in on IELTS or, yeah, anytime you want to just up level your vocabulary.
exactly. And then what did you say? So I said it's hard to chat at a formal event like this. And you said,
I couldn't agree with you more, right? So you can say, I couldn't agree more, or I couldn't agree with you more. Either works perfectly and just is a great way to say, oh, I really agree.
yeah. And you also have the option of saying, I could not agree with you more. That would work too, right?
Yes.
As we said.
Absolutely. That might even emphasize it a little more, right? If you're really wanting to be emphatic about how much you agree.
Exactly. And then you said, me too. It's crazy how much we've all changed, right? You don't know anyone well. And then I responded by saying, you said it. I hardly recognize anyone. And that's the one that we said is maybe not as common right now in our generation, but our listeners might still hear that on a TV show,
Right,
right?
especially older
hmm
TV shows, but even
Yes.
now, podcast TV, like, I would understand what someone meant if they said that. I'd feel like I
hmm
just don't hear it as much anymore.
Exactly. I love it. Aubrey, what's our takeaway for today?
Yeah, I think this is a fun connection skill to agree emphatically, right? If ever you agree with someone, don't just say, "Oh yeah, I agree." Why not
hmm
be emphatic? Like you said, Lindsay, support the speaker
Yes.
because that feels good when you say something and then the other person is willing to like really double down on how much they agree. Why not?
Yeah, it's kind of a ninja connection skill that is
Yeah,
very accessible to all of us, right? It's right
totally.
there in front of you. Sometimes these tools for connection are very accessible. They're right there. So grab it and agree with the person and then expand. Sometimes we hear our listeners are worried that a conversation will end and they don't know how to continue a conversation. Guys, this is a good way to do it too, right?
Yes, absolutely, right? So any chance you have to agree emphatically, use one of today's phrases. What a fun way to connect.
All right, sounds good. Aubrey, see you next time. Have a good one.
Awesome. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.